When he last seen it, a general and two colonels sat at the desk. On the wall behind them hung a portrait of Stalin. The great leader smiled. Trofimov stood in front of them, trying hard to remain on his feet. He dimly heard the questions put by the board members and answered them automatically. The sound of his own voice reached him from afar. The questions were trivial. It was only when the general asked whether he pleaded guilty to the charges that Trofimov forced himself out of his somnolent state and uttered a firm no, although he realized that nothing he said would affect his fate in the slightest. His fate had been decided on high. A few more questions followed, after which the guard escorted him out of the office. He stood outside, collecting his thoughts. Death was the most likely sentence, and he wondered what he should do. Pray? If so, then what should he pray for? For the salvation of his soul? For his poor parents about to lose their last surviving son? But he found he could not concentrate even on this. He was consumed by pain and exhaustion. At last, he was called back into the office. The general wore a familiar expression of virtuous severity, the demeanor of a man performing his noble and solemn duty to purge society of filth and corruption. In accordance with the USSR law of 1939 concerning high treason and the USSR law of 1934 concerning conspiracy, the court-martial of the Baltic Military District had found Trofimov Alexander Ivanovich, born 1922, Russian, former captain of the Soviet Army, guilty in respect of Article 58.1b, activity undermining Soviet military rule, Article 58.6, espionage, and Article 58.11, conspiracy. The said court-martial sentences him, Trofimov held his breath, to 25 years of imprisonment in corrective labor camps. This verdict is final, and the accused has no right of appeal. Well, Part 1, Chapter 1. The guard's hammer struck the metal rail with a resounding clang, breaking the silence of the barracks hut and mercilessly wrenching its inhabitants out of their slumbers. Even on bare benches, and no matter how brief, their sleep was blissful. It always ended abruptly, just when they were most completely enveloped in peace and calm. The prisoners scrambled from their three-story bunks, and within a minute, the narrow passage between the cots was crowded. Trofimov jumped down from the middle row and felt sharp pain in his frost-beaten toes. Pain or no, he had to put on his boots and adjust his bindings. then joined the line up on the washstand and rinsed his face before his work team went to the canteen for breakfast. "No, fella, that won't work." Bondarenko's voice barked in his ear. "What won't work?" Trofimov raised his eyes. "If you bind your foot like that, you ain't gonna last 1 hour at work," Bondarenko replied. And if you fall over, some fucking screw's gonna beat you to death. Frostbitten feet like these need special binding." Bondarenko sat by Trofimov's side and rebound his foot with the skill of a seasoned camp inmate. "Now try the other foot yourself," Bondarenko said. "Thanks, buddy." Trofimov tried to repeat Bondarenko's technique with his other foot. "What barracks? Out to breakfast?" The guard's harsh voice sounded like another hammer blow. "Damn," Trofimov cursed. "No time even to wash my face." "Don't rush," Bondarenko warned him. "If you ain't tie your foot binding properly, it'll give you hell once you are down the mine." "You scum dog, need a special invitation?" The butt of a rifle hit Trofimov on the collarbone. The prisoners looked alike in their overcoats as they stood outside by the canteen entrance. The icy wind blew in biting gasps. How long would they have to wait? No one knew. The convicts wore no watches. "Shit," Ignatiev cursed. He was a blacksmith from the dawn and a member of Trofimov's work team. "Are they trying to freeze us to death?" "That ain't freezing, man," Bondarenko answered. "It's only November. By January, it'll be 3 times colder than this." "Why are they keeping us?" asked Trofimov. "Could be anything. Some of the staff might be off to work in the fields." "Work in the fields?" Goldberg protested. "There's snow everywhere." "Oh, that's just an example," Bondarenko grinned. "They could be doing road repairs, say, or building a barn, or digging a ditch." "A ditch? What the hell for?" "What for? For no reason. Just to remind them what a cozy place the canteen is. Or maybe all the waitresses are busy because the guards got the urge for a fuck all at the same time. Their duties are so important, you understand?" Bondarenko giggled. "Their slightest cravings have to be satisfied to maintain high morale, you see?" "Yeah," Trofimov chuckled. "So camp trash like us have to wait, while the men of our glorious Cheka satisfy their noble lust. Is that it?" "Oh, don't begrudge them, man," someone said. "The longer we spend here, the less time we have to slave our way down the mine." "You're kidding," Bondarenko grinned. They'll cut our sleep, not our work hours." At last, the canteen windows lit up. The doors were opened, and the prisoners poured inside. Trofimov sat squeezed between Bondarenko and Goldberg and gulped down the liquid skilly with thin threads of fish floating in it. "Water again. Not a single real piece of fish," he complained. "That's how things are here."